welcome back to the harbor, guys. This is going to be a fun video. I've been waiting to do one of these for a little while now. What we're going to do is go over 4 boats that I've already done a video on, and at the end of each one I'm going to actually give you the price for what the boat sold for. These are all salvage auction boats, salvage boats from Cooper Capital, specialty salvage, and I've got the prices on them. I've got a few more I'm going to do another video on as well. And going forward, I will have the prices for the video posted on the next salvage video that I do. So I was able to accumulate quite a few of these here, but like I said, going forward, for instance, if I did a video on this Hatteras and then later did a video on this Sea Ray, I will show the price of the Hatteras on the next video, assuming it is sold, of course. You know, these are getting a little harder to find. The hurricanes, thankfully, have been staying away this year. In Southwest Florida, I don't travel to go do these other than South Florida. But yeah, so anyway, this is a great site. Look at this one, though. Man, Independence. I would love to go to the Chesapeake and see this boat. This boat is so cool. Starting bid $1, guys. So a lot of boat there for $1. Anyway, let's jump into the video, and at the end of each boat, we'll go back and talk about the price and what it sold for and what they're actually going for. So let's dive in. Definitely doing more than just banging the outside and cracking gel coat. Welcome back to the harbor, down here at Safe Cove Covered Boat Storage once again, and I'm looking for a salvage boat. It's a 35-foot Carver, and while I'm at it, I wanted to show you guys this boat here. Check this thing out, and that's a hole in the side of a boat if I ever saw one. Old boat. Looks like somebody's going with a full restoration job. I mean, that thing is gutted. Obviously had some major damage there. Cut the side out. Looks like the fuel tank sitting there on the ground, but man, that's a project right there. It's a nice haul. Nice haul though. Real nice offshore boat. Anyway. Oh, and there's our subject of the day. Hey, Golden Olive. I did that boat. That's the first boat I did on my channel, Harbor Yacht Tours. I wonder if he finally sold it. Just scroll back. I can leave it in the description, but if you just drop down all the way down to my very first video, it was at Fisherman's Village, and that was it. Anyway, here's the boat we are looking at. This little 35 Carver Aft Cabin, 1999 Irish Twins. Let's get out. And actually, funny enough, I also recognize this boat. This is a really unique trawler. Look at that thing. And I'm about 90% sure that this boat is something I saw on Craigslist. It was sitting in somebody's backyard, literally in their backyard on the grass after Hurricane Milton. And I think he was asking like $6,000. Come and get it, haul it off, your responsibility. Looks like somebody took him up on the offer. Pretty sure that's a boat. Could be wrong, but I'm really feeling pretty sure that was it. Anyway, here we go. 35 Carver, 356 Aft Cabin. It's a 1999. Right there, we're looking at the bulk of the damage, but haven't got on board yet. Haven't seen it other than a few pictures. So let's take her a little walk around first before we jump in. This side looks unscathed, and again, for a Carver, I detail boats and I don't like doing Carvers, and this one has got a good shine on it. Somebody took care of it. You got to really keep them up north or keep them heavily waxed. The gel coat just isn't my favorite to buff out. Irish Twins. Bottom is clean. That's some fresh bottom paint, really. Stainless insert on the rub rail, flopping in the breeze. It looks here like Yeah, it looks like it was just pounding up against either a concrete piling. I don't think it was wood. I think it was concrete, either the seawall piling or dock, and just really destroyed that whole intersection where the cap ties into the hull. I'll get a better look up top, but really it might just be that might just be all the damage that's on this boat. We got banged up here in the back as well a little bit. See the balsa coring. It's balsa wood. It's like a cork, super duper lightweight. Just don't let it get wet. Trim tab's a little bent. Doesn't look too bad though. Running gear appears to be okay. I wonder what's going on with that, why they're tied up. Why would they be tied up? Anybody know? Let me know. Both props. It's like they don't want it spinning. That doesn't make sense to me. Never seen that before. Let me know. Somebody has to know why. Paint just looks like it flaked off there. I don't know if it was rubbing or if it just didn't bond. I think it just didn't stick. Oh, hole there. Little dock rash. At the boot stripe. Okay, well, first walk around does not appear to be a disaster at all. This is a nice little boat. This is a perfect little winter getaway down here in Florida. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right, 35 feet. We got some kind of sea decking. Not sure of the brand, but it's not Sea Deck, but it's a similar product. This stuff, it's good as long as it sticks. If it's not good or a knockoff brand, it starts to curl and bubble up, and I'm not seeing that on any of this so far, especially where it hits the sun all day long. Anyway, back here at the transom, got an extended swim platform with a box, deck box to store your fenders, power cord, extra lines. Got a little box here. Here's where you're going to store your line, your power cord I should say, and your hookups, your 30 amp and 50 amp. We've got an integrated stairs, makes it very easy. Come up to probably really the best part of the boat, which is this aft sun deck. There's no isinglass, but you could put isinglass up. I suppose there could be some hiding somewhere in the boat, but you can put isinglass up and have this as an all year round, all weather, year round little hangout. Irish Twins, nice. They got the name embossed into the sea deck decking, and I like this color, light brown. I really like that. It looks like it was a very good product, properly installed. But here's a really nice spot. As I said, you can sit out here, have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Let's take a quick look at this trawler. Very interesting, commercial looking boat. Not sure if that was, it's not a shrimping trawler, but it's got the big outriggers, stabilizing outriggers. Interesting boat. Yeah, that's the one. That was it. 6,000 bucks. I'd have took it, but this thing, the place I've got that I'm going to be keeping a boat at needs like 6 inches of water, and this thing looks like 6 feet. Well, let's carry on, move forward, start on the starboard side, the good side. We've got these wing doors. Nice passage moving forward. High rub rail, or high bow rail. You see about mid-thigh. And they do have the sea decking carried throughout. The boat's dirty because it's been sitting, but I'm telling you, it's got a good shine on it. One pass with a buffer, maybe two, and this thing will come right back. Like the windows, they're integrated, no framing. This is a nice boat. I will be doing some work with Cooper Capital. That's who is representing this boat, and this is a salvage boat, but I don't get paid if this boat sells or doesn't sell. That's got nothing to do with me. I'm just giving you my honest opinion of the boat, just kind of walking through, looking at it. Now the bow pulpit here looks like it took a pretty good hit. You've got a nice crack on both sides. Okay, and we're missing the rub rail, the bow rail went around the pulpit. See, it's been cut off here. So I guess it was wedged underneath something and pushed hard enough to break, start to break off the bow pulpit, but not enough to bend the metal all the way down and damage the swim platforms. It's kind of interesting. It must have been just sitting right here and just bang, 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 and cracked it. I don't think it's going to be an issue structurally to the hull. Again, this is just the cap, but we'll see if we can take a look underneath and see if we can see anything else. So I can sneak under there right now, see if that crack continues. Yeah, you can see underneath began to separate, but that's part of the cap, the top side. It's not a part of the hull. So structurally, the hull is still okay from that part of the damage anyway, from what I can see, without being able to get inside and look at the hull. But really, the bow rail still can be, kept right here and just extended, have a little piece attached to extend out there. Otherwise, I'm not seeing anything. It's not soft or loose. This isn't going to fall off. So moving aft here is where we start to see the major damage. You can see right down into the hull there. See the different processes here. We've got the balsa coring, we've got fiberglass. You can see how thin the gel coat is, which it's actually pretty thick. Gel coat's really strong. It's not like paint. It's much stronger finish than paint, but people worry about wearing through that. It takes a while. You really gotta mess up with your buffer to do that. But anyway, there's fiberglass, woven fiberglass with resin. There you have your balsa core and more fiberglass, and then plywood. This foam is going to be for dampening, noise reduction, just helping keeping her quiet, I believe. Here you've got your resin woven fiberglass in the cap. Now we got our wiring running forward for might be for the windlass, foot controls, and the lighting. But this isn't easy to fix. It's not just one big smooth run. There's a lot of corners and turns, and you're gonna have to remove the bow rail first. But it's not a whole lot. It's not like it's the entire side of the boat. Anyway, let's continue moving aft. Even right here where I'm standing, this deck is pretty strong right there, even though it's lost its structure underneath. Through our wing door, back to the sun deck. Now we have a wet bar here fridge or ice maker. What do we got? I don't want to break it. Storage. Garbage. Let's move up to the bridge. And they do still have the bimini here. And you can tell these gauges have been replaced at some point in time, and they haven't been sun baked, so they're getting hit by the sun now, but it does have the bimini, so it was taken care of before the storm. We've got all of our analog gauges, oil, temperature, fuel, voltage. No hours over here, no hours over here. I think, yes, I remember correctly, this has been rebuilt. Both the engines have been rebuilt, and I'm not sure if these hour meters are correct on the new rebuilds, but they have been rebuilt. Got our little Garmin multifunction. Got our helm, autopilot. We've got our windlass, our throttles. Nice big screen Garmin GPS, and our ship-to-shore radio. Seat cushions they're soft. They're still nice and plush, but they are a little bit of mildew coming through and a little dingy. Most of this will clean up, but some of those little black specks may not. But all in all, not bad. Cushions up front here have been covered. Cover's taken a beating, but it's doing its job. These are in better condition. Little magic eraser, some cleaner, and this should come right up. This is coming out, this little insert here. It's just kind of flopping in the breeze, just needs to be reset. I don't know, what do you think, guys? Okay, now there's a bit of a diesel smell coming from the engine room. I'm not sure if there's a leak or if it's just a really stinky engine room, but definitely smells in here. Somebody's been doing some work. Maybe that's the rebuild. Maybe the rebuild just was finished and then hurricane hit. I'm not sure. But it is very bright in here. Nice, big, bright, open room. Corian countertops all throughout. The dinette and then the galley. These are nice shape. Nice color. So, you know, definitely is going to need a clean. Like I said, we've got a mechanic in here who had some grubby hands and forearms and just kind of left her in a mess. Gonna need, I would take out the carpet. You could probably clean it, but maybe that would help to get some of the smell out. We will take a look at the engine room in a minute, but let's step down here into the galley. Yeah, she's been taken apart. There's our AC ducts. Not sure if we have the seats anywhere. We got a big, long electrical panel here. Our 12-volt DC power, washdown pump, waste pump, cabin lights, stereo, electric head, fridge, waste tank monitor. Here we've got our AC power, receptacles, a range, hot water heater, microwave, central vac, battery charger, AC water pump, 2 AC units. So the carpet in here has been taken up, or maybe it was some kind of vinyl flooring. You see more of this. I think that's maybe balsa. I believe that's how they do the coring on the hull as well. It's lots of strips of balsa and then resin. But I could be wrong, and each boat manufacturer probably has a different process, but I was kind of shocked to find out that they still use balsa coring in a lot of manufacturing. So a solid fiberglass boat isn't a guarantee, and some of these use these composite corings, which some manufacturers use, but some still, like I said, use balsa. Now, little fridge there, high sense. Looks like they took out the original. The cabinet there just doesn't quite fit in the cabinet, but put in a new piece of wood here. Doesn't match, but they probably had to rip out the old one to get the old fridge in. So you could maybe, that popped off. The storm probably maybe had it crooked in here. Got stuff kind of twisted, perhaps. Not sure. But you could come in here with a do-it-yourself cabinet paint and just paint all these one color, make it all match. It would brighten up the original, and then it would make it match with the refrigerator cabinet. A little bit of TLC needs to be done inside. Stainless sink. Otherwise, this all looks nice. I mean, this nice princess oven, stainless sink, refrigerator looks fairly new. You could throw in a new microwave, reface these with a little bit of paint. New flooring to match. Okay, here we do have the cushions. So we've got the cushions for the dinette. Real nice deep clean on all of these. See, this will come out. That will clean up nicely. I can't guarantee, but that looks like it should clean up pretty nicely. You put in some new carpet, and you'd have a really nice little retreat. Now let's move forward here. We've got a single berth to port and a double berth to right here in the guest quarters. There's a little bit of mildew starting to grow. We are in the winter here in Florida now, so that should be kept at bay. Got time to, if you're going to buy the boat, to get in here and get it cleaned up before the rainy season. The summertime is when this stuff really grows. It's not that bad. I mean, you don't like to see any mildew or mold, but it could be worse. Now, let's check up in here in this anchor box. Maybe we can see a little bit more of that damage that was done to the pulpit. Yeah, right there's the crack. You can see the crack running through here. And there's your windlass motor. And there you can see the crack over there. Yeah, I don't want to say not structural, but I don't think it's structural in the sense that it's going to affect you when you're out running. And this closes. What do we got? A mirror? Yeah, nice. However, if you couldn't tell already, I am not a surveyor nor a professional. I'm just a boat detailer who really likes to look at a lot of different boats and just bring you guys along for the ride. If you're going to buy a boat, you should get a survey. Storage in here. Yeah, neat little place. You got a comfortable spot for two, but they didn't waste any space. Really, if you just took this out, what would you have had? A little desk here. You add this, and now you've got an extra spot for somebody to sleep. And if you don't ever need it, you could take the cushion out and kind of use it as a shelf. A little stainless rail there for something. So it's a cool spot, cool space right there. And I think if you do something close enough to the rest of this wood, this like beech wood kind of feel, you could do something pretty close in here where it'll match. You might not even have to do all of this. This little magic eraser will really clean most of this up, and then just get something similar here to match it. Kind of like a little peachy beechwood. Let's see if we can pop this up while it's talking to me. I keep banging it. Let's see anything down below. Oh, okay. Whew. Not what you'd like to see. A little black water there. It stinks. There's your shower sump pump. We'll shop vac. Get that right out. I'm gonna have to check the tanks. Make sure the tanks are all good. Again, it's good to see we've kept these cushions. Now that smell is not, I don't smell that in the cabin. I smell a little bit of fumes. Wet head, or sorry, no, it's got a completely closed off. Yeah, you're still going to be showering in here in the toilet area. You can sit on the toilet seat if you want to sit or stand, but it does shut off and keeps the sink and the wash basin dry with your towels. A couple nice shelves, vacuum flush head, door locks here. Let's see. There we go. Door shuts. Okay, moving right along. We got a bunch of manuals. That's good. Carver Yachts, 2004. This is a 1999. I'm really bad about reading manuals for anything. Right. Let's see what we got under here. Now, there's a marine air system. That is, I believe, the pump for the holding tank. Smelling the holding tank in this section here of the bilge. A lot of systems on these boats, guys. A lot of systems. All right, let's move aft. Check out the captain's quarters. I've got the rug up in here. Nice big space. Okay, it does have isinglass. That's nice, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. That's a big win. That stuff's not cheap, and hard to find good guys to do the work in a timely manner. So I've got a queen berth here. More of the light wood. Looks like a little possibly entertainment system can go in here. A little television. Plenty of little storage lockers. Here we have a head with a shower. Nice little shower door, seat for extra comfort. Keep the head dry. More of the corian throughout. This is just a non-skid floor that needs to be cleaned. Big mirror. Let's see if we can lift up one of these hatches. Another shower sump pump. What you do is you have the rug cut, but don't glue it down. That's what it looks like. Yeah, they did. They had it glued down on the edges, but it wasn't glued down here, so you could roll it up and access these pumps in case you need to work on them. That smells a little bit like the diesel mixed with black water. I mean, it could just be fresh water with oil in it. I'm not sure. Not sure. So, you know, that to me, you know, looks pretty nasty, right? Let me turn this light off. You know, and it is nasty, but the other Carver I did about 10 videos back, it said $7,500 auction. It was a 40-foot Carver, and sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze here. That one had a spot where I opened a bilge deck hatch. I opened up a hatch in the salon, and it had black water. Funny enough, the guy who bought the boat actually commented, and he said, you know, good video, and I actually bought the boat, and really there was not a lot wrong with the boat. We weren't able to get into the engine rooms of that boat, but and he said that water, it was just black water, fresh water, and he shop vacuumed it right out. It didn't have any smell to it. That water didn't. And so anyway, he said it was no big problem at all. But you know, I'm not sure. Every boat's different, and every little bit of water you find in a boat can be there from multiple places and have multiple fluids in it. Now, while I'm talking, I did just notice this. This is the port side, and you can see, yeah, she was definitely doing more than just banging the outside and cracking gel coat. It separated this whole countertop, maybe even this whole bulkhead from the structure. So I can get a light on in here for you guys. You can see down in there construction. Yeah, that all came off the wall. Okay, yeah, you can see the right underneath here, the bulkhead, it all just came off. I'm not sure how it was fastened. See there, that, I guess that's a stringer or a little bulkhead. Not a stringer to the hull, but whatever. Know-it-alls can tell me what that is. Seriously, you can tell me what would that be called. But it's just a bracket holding this wall up. Oh man, this whole thing, yeah. Got this whole thing shifted. Wow. Yeah, this has stayed the same. It's separated there. You know, it might be a thing where you just try to push it back as best you can. Wow. You just kind of see where it's loose, sure it up, and you might have to just kind of leave it. You know, I just don't know how you get everything pushed back. But, funny enough, it wouldn't bother me a whole lot. I'd make it to where you can't see it, but I think it's okay as far as structural, you know, integrity of the boat. But again, get your own survey. You can see here. Yeah, it got rough that day. Let's get inside these engines. All right, I've got a couple of the boards, of the floorboards peeled up here. All of these boards, kind of like a little puzzle piece, will come up if you need to access everything and you know, do major work. But the center board comes up very quickly and easy. There's no furniture over here as well, so those are all I'm opening up for now. What am I stepping on here? That doesn't look like it wants to be stepped on. Okay, storage for batteries. Okay, this is off. The battery switch should be underneath there, I believe. Anyway, there's a generator. She needs a little detail, a little scrubbing, and a paint job, but the engines look a little cleaner. They're Cummins, 420 horsepower, 4 strokes, 6 BTA, and I was telling you guys that they were rebuilt. They were rebuilt, but that was in 2020, so our gauges are not correct. Let's see if we can see anything that could have popped loose inside here. Look around there for me. See it turning sideways here. I just want to get it look straight back against that bulkhead under the couch. Can't see much. This battery switch is off as well. And so, okay, that just goes right out into the aft cabin. And so there's where we're getting the smell from. When I opened it up in here, it didn't smell that bad. When I opened up the cabin, it did. Okay, but when I opened up the engine room, it didn't smell that bad. So I think it's just a mixture of that. You know, it's just the engine room being opened directly in to the aft cabin, which that can be closed off. It should be. See, they opened that up probably to do more work, or while they were doing the, well, I don't know what they were doing, because that was again in 2020. But this is where the smell is the strongest. So, and this is where we have some of that water. Oh, you have to do further detective work, but there's the engine room. Let's close her up. Now for a continual walkthrough of this 356 Aft Cabin Carver, 1999. Let me hop online here and let's see if we can compare it to some other Carvers that are on the market right now, and just take a look and see what, you know, it would bring if you had it in whole condition, all fixed up and ready to go. So you can get an idea maybe what could you make on this boat if you were to buy it, or how much sweat equity could you save if you bought it and did it yourself. Let's jump in here. Let's go to Yacht World or Boat Trader first. Here we've got a 99. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for $69,000. Amazing amount of space inside and out. Twin Merc cruisers. So definitely not as good of a boat. 620 horsepower. She's got about 400 more horse to ride with, but this is a gas boat. So not really comparable. Here we go, $104,000 aft cabin. This is, oh, it's another Merc. 7.4 Merc Cruiser, V drives. This one's in Marathon, Florida, so she's salty. Down in the Keys, looks nice. If these pictures are up to date, it looks real pretty. This can give you an idea of what the boat we're looking at could look like. Slightly. This is a nice boat, well taken care of. So there we go, 70, 100. Can we find a diesel to compare? It's a $73,000 boat. Again, this looks like this is going to be gas. It's got the higher horsepower, Merc cruisers, yep. So we're in the 70s. So, well, here we go. This is 50,000. This has got to be gas as well. This is a New Hampshire. Oh, this one only has 310 horsepower. Unless they weren't specifying that it was total horsepower on that one with 620. That's probably what it was. That is what it was. Okay. 50,000. Can we find a diesel? I guess I spell diesel. It's giving me the same boats. Let's take a look here. Here we got a boat in Fort Myers, still Merc Cruisers, so it's you know, a bit of a special boat, guys. It's got the diesels. I'm not seeing anything. We're in California. I don't even know if they let diesels in California anymore. Crusaders. So I don't know. What do you think, guys? Let me know. Give me a price range. Here we've got anything from $50,000 to $100,000, and these are all gas. These boats are not damaged. Only 400 hours on some new Merc Cruisers. Put it in 2015. I don't think that's new, but new to the boat. That boat was 6 years old when it got those new Mercs. So let me know what you think. Yeah, she's got diesels. That's definitely a bonus and looks to be a little bit of an anomaly. Here we go. Let's go one more here. 92,000. Knoxville, Tennessee. It's going to be a freshwater boat. Give me some diesels and I'll take it. Nope, gas, Merc Cruisers, but I bet this is the prettiest boat out there. I tell you what, guys, difference between a freshwater boat kept up north undercover, it looks like here. Look at that shine on that boat. Wow. 1999. Sorry, I'm just zipping through here. This is a clean boat. Really nice. $92,000. So we'll see. Starting bid is $1. Let's just jump over there real quick. I'm going to show you guys Cooper Capital. Let's take a look at this listing real quick. I'll get you guys out of here. So you got all kinds of stuff all across the country, not just Florida boats. They've got boats everywhere. This boat is in Placida, Florida. And yeah, starting bid is $1. Get a waiver if you need to take a look at it. Submit your bid. Minimum bid is $1, and you've got till the 19th. This video is getting out a little late, but future videos will be posted right at the start of the auction. Okay, so here we go. These are comparables. I just showed you the comparables. That was a while ago, but the sold price for that Carver was $5,300, $5,300. And you can see, really, really nice boats are asking $89,000. Here's a mid-range for 34, low I should say actually, 32,000. You know, 25,000. Man, that's a nice looking boat in that picture, depending on how old that picture is. 79,000. Of course, it depends. Is it diesel? Is it gas? And has it been destroyed by a hurricane? But very popular boat. That boat got a ton of views. It's like one top 5, maybe top 3. It's pushing 500,000 views. People loved watching that one, but $5,000. What is the process of pickling into the wood? Balsa coring. All right, guys, welcome back to the harbor. Actually, today on Anaclote River in north of Tampa, Tarpon Springs. Real quick here, though. Check out Manatee coming up to say hello. Good morning. I've got a really cool boat to show you guys today. It's a 2002 56-foot ocean yacht, super sport. This is a fishing machine, and she sunk. So obviously she's gonna have some issues. Let's hop on board and see how bad the damage is on Nasty Habit. Now the cockpit is the focal point of these big sport fishers. Beautiful teak. I like the gray caulking rather than the black. Keep it a little cooler. Got a wet bar across the bulkhead there. Access to the engine room. Storage, fish locker, fish boxes, tackle boxes I should say. And those rocket launchers. Did lose part of well, pretty much lost one. The starboard outrigger. Port side outrigger is fine. Whew. Let's take a look around here. Normally these got a nice integrated handle that you can't even see, which you definitely need to, because it doesn't have a whole lot of side decks, but you need that to hold on to, so that's gonna have to be screwed back in. Big, beautiful black windows. A lot of superstructure. A lot of buffing and waxing going on these boats. See here, got into the wood, balsa coring, I assume, but yeah, window's fine except for the scratches here. A lot of gouges, but definitely gonna have to be repaired. I think you can leave the window in to do it though, I think. Outrigger's still laying here on the ground, but I'm sure that's just going to be scrap metal at this point. Here we've got a davit for a dinghy or a jet ski. Super duper large bow deck. It's smooth. It does have a non-skid ring around it, but it is smooth in the center, so hold on. Look at that. It's like a slide. Massive, massive brow. Detailer's nightmare right there, climbing that thing and buffing it. You got a Lumar windlass and aluminum bow rail all the way around. Keeping her nice and light. Still fairly early in the morning, so we're in the shade on the good side here, but I'll take you along. This side looks fine on the top side anyway, above the rub rail. Let's see down below. Alright, so we've got the same issues on the other side. The vent piece has been snapped off and they've got it covered there. Definitely needs a bottom job. Got pretty good slime growing on her. That's the least of the concerns. Got a little bit of a shine to her. See, this morning dew is beating up. Got our fuel cap here. There's a diesel. Yeah, all in all, this side looks not bad. Really, the boat itself doesn't look bad. Unfortunately, the big problem is she took on a lot of water. She sunk. I like the gray caulk lines in the teak. Looks like somebody used to do some spear fishing with her. Got the transom door for sliding in big catches like tuna, making life a little bit easier. Get this open for you. Here she is, Nasty Habit out of Cape May, New Jersey. Swim platform is pretty well destroyed. See that crack all along there. Crunched up here. We got quite a bit of storage here across the bulkhead. We've got a bait sink there for, you know, cutting up bait or cleaning fish. Kind of a good spot for that. Refrigerator and access to the engine room here. We will check that out in a little bit. Here we've got a cockpit steering for backing down at the dock, making it a little bit easier. All right, let's head in the salon and then we will check on the fly bridge. Let's check out this hay bike. The first e-bike I've ever owned. I've always wanted one. Reached out to Hay Bike and they sent me one. Look at this tiki bar. Cruise and a boat ride. This is a collapsible bike. It'll fold in half, so you can make it a little easier to store. This is the Ranger S model. This thing will go, I've had it up to 30 miles an hour nearly. I think 29 was the top speed. And it's the first one I've ever owned, and I love it. You got all of your information right here, your battery, life and your miles per hour. You know, you can pedal just very gently and get a little bit of exercise and go 25 miles an hour, or you can turn it off completely and just pedal. Bike weighs about 75 pounds. There are smaller, lighter options, but this bike has the big tires. It's a heavier bike, and if you are like in the islands or, you know, at port somewhere and you don't have a vehicle, this is like up to 30 miles an hour. I mean, you feel like you're actually on an old school moped or a traditional scooter. You can actually go from one end of the island to the other, you know, depending on how big the island is. But some of them smaller bikes, easier to pick up and stow away, but you definitely don't feel very safe when you're out on the road. It feels a little bit chintzy. This thing is solid. With the fat tires, you can ride this thing off-road pretty well. I mean, they've got specifically off-road models, but this model does both, really, I think. I will leave a link in the description below. Hey bike, Ranger S model. Whew, yeah, she got wet in here. All the way to the top, it looks like. So let me just read you here what we've got. Boat must be moved after the sail. Tide surge from Hurricane Helene caused the vessel to submerge. Engines, electrical, and all soft goods are saltwater damaged. The starboard side outrigger was ripped off, as well as the handrail. And the engines and generator were drained, pickled, and barred over when the vessel was raised. So that's good. They did get the carpet ripped up, but not completely out. Oh man, and this is when it gets scary. She's gonna need to be completely rewired. Repowered? I don't know. I mean, these diesel, honestly, once you get all the electrical taken care of, these diesels, if it's been pickled and barred over, might just be able to keep them. I'm going to try to move slowly here so I don't get too many complaints. People have suffered from seasickness on some of my videos, but we're working on that. All this just needs to be torn out. I mean, the door was open when I got here, so it doesn't smell too bad, but again, the door was open. Definitely got some mildew started. Headliner down, carpet out, furniture all out. Here in the salon anyway. But great views though, great visibility through these massive windows. As I said, we've got curtains. Ooh, looking scary down there. Better turn the light on here. The galley is really nice and spacious. Feels a little bit more like a kitchen. Fridge is gonna have to go, but I don't know, some of these cabinets, yeah, these cabinets did not sink, I don't believe. These seem pretty dry. Stayed high and dry. This headliner looks good in here. She probably went down. It was just sit and bow up, perhaps. I don't know. Tell you what though, these sport fishers are not cheap. I was just at the Palm Beach boat show, and something like this, 56, brand new, whew, $4 million maybe. So starting bid on this is $15,000, I believe. All right, let's go down and check out the damage. Get some black mold growing. Yeah, it's getting musty and moldy down here. Dang. No bueno. Master stateroom under the galley. Yep. I don't know, would you rather have a molded out boat or a burned out boat? I'd rather take a burned out boat. hot water heater. I feel like either way you got to tear it down. At least you don't have to deal with the black mold. Yeah. There was fishes swimming in there at one point in time, it looks like. To port, double bunk room. That wedged shut. Should be able to get under another way. Washer and dryer. Big V-berth, boy. These things are spacious. You could definitely be a full-time liveaboard on these big ocean yachts. Really a pretty boat in the water when they're running. There's all the plumbing. We get a demo crew in here and gut this baby back down to the fiberglass. What's going on here? There it goes. There we go. Full stand-up shower. Filthy. You can get a demo crew in here and get it all gutted, cleaned out. This interior stuff is, you know, need a lot of good finished carpenter work, which isn't cheap, but it's not massive. It's not like this is a 3,000 square foot home, you know. So you get the right guy in there, you can knock this out a couple months. 15,000, you know, if you got this for 50, put 150 into it, $200,000 for a boat that's cost millions. Let's go down in here, see how bad the damage is in the engine room. Pickled and barred over. I know what barred over means. It's when you just turn the engine over by hand. And I understand what pickled means to a degree. I guess it's where you open up the engine, make sure there's no water in it, and fill it with like oil. Is that correct? I know that's the idea. You're preserving it from being salt water corroded, but exactly what is that process of pickling? If somebody could drop that in the comment below, I would appreciate that. To be honest, I mean, it's a mess, but I have literally seen, you know, again, it's a mess, and it probably was a mess before it sunk, kind of seems like. But as far as like corrosion and stuff, I've seen engine rooms just as bad or worse that didn't go to the bottom. But the electric, that's what's, yeah. I mean, it's got to be 50 grand just to rewire this boat, right? Any electricians out there? Let me know. Well, the staterooms are worse than I would have hoped. And the engine room is, I don't know, kind of looks better than I would have hoped. It's got batteries just thrown in here. You know, once these things get popped up, I think it's kind of just a hurry up and throw stuff around, make sure she's not going to sink again, and pickle the engines, whatever else little minor things you can do to help it stay preserved until the new owner can take over. But I tell you what, I bet these, if it was pickled, I bet these big old man diesels are are ready to go after extensive service maintenance work was done. Pumping it. Fighting chairs. Those aren't cheap. Let's see, how does this door, maybe this is why she's open. No, she's just open. Just hitting something, but she's sliding really nicely. Oh, there's a little something there, bumper or something. She slides good though. It's not all warped. That's a solid slider right there. Alright, let's head up to the bridge. She stayed high and dry up here. This is where you'd want to be, backing down on the fish. Nice, you can see right onto the cockpit when this isinglass is cleaned or rolled up. A lot of seating, great place to hang out while you're running. This boat is built to run fast, offshore. You know, getting up here, you see, it seems pretty clean. Like maybe the previous owners were taking good care of it. The cushions are all in really good shape considering the year. We've got our analog gauges, dated Ferrino, electronics. She's gonna need an electronic package. So we're gonna go higher than the 150. I bet it's gonna be hundreds of thousands to get her running. Alright, here we go. Here's some big Ferrino electronics. If you're redoing everything, probably gonna want new equipment. Ship to shore radio. Got a hatch here, access the hard top, keep her waxed, which is the reason why all of this white oxidation that's on the outside of this isinglass, that hard top has to be continually kept up, buffed, waxed. Otherwise, it just creates a mess. You got white oxidation running down all the isinglass, then also running down the black windows. Just a real pain in the butt. It's cool, see-through top here, so you can, like I said, see down. Good visibility, watching your clients catch fish. Now, there's definitely more economical fishing packages that will get you there, but not in the comfort and style that this thing will. I mean, this is a beast. You could easily, very comfortably spend 2-3 days with a lot of guys on this boat, out fishing, marlin tournaments, tuna tournaments, or whatever, wherever you're fishing. But what do we got here? Part of the pickling process. Some kind of pump. Mr. Manatee. Alright, let's see what we got here. Lazarette. How's she looking? Get a light turned on for you guys. Yeah, she got a little muddy. Air conditioning. I can hear that water underneath. It doesn't sound too far away. Let's check a few more of these hatches for you. Oh, she's full. That macerator pump needs to be worked on. Check one more. Another pump, another big kill box. Holding some water. Alright guys, well here we go. Over here on Yacht World. 2002 56 Ocean yachts, and they're looking at the looking like $400,000 range. So yeah, this one was, it's priced at $15,000. Amazing. But these are older boats, and You know, again, brand new. It's amazing what these things go for. But 300,000, 400,000. Yeah, you're gonna have to get it pretty cheap because there is a lot of work that needs to be done. I don't know how much. I'm not really great at spitballing and throwing out numbers, but I suppose if you could get it all done for $100,000 and you were into it for like 150, you're half price. I don't know. Let's take a look at one of these real quick. You know, and again, maybe you're just gonna use it as a real fishing machine, and you're just gonna go really low budget, no frills, get all the mechanicals working, and not even try to finish it off like this inside. Just do a real basic remodel, and you know how to do it yourself, and then I guess you'd be all right. But I just thought they'd be worth a little bit more. Here's a real pretty one, the blue hull, well maintained, 1999. Let's see if we can see in the interior. A real pretty one. Got the yellow hull. So that's what it used to look like. Yeah, again, I guess if you're gonna bring it back to this, I don't know. I don't know how much money you're really saving. Might be throwing good money after bad money, but if you're just gonna really go through it and make it no frills and clean it up, and you can get your hands on a 56 Ocean yacht for 20 grand, you know, that's hard to find. Anyway, let me know what you think about this boat, guys. I've got another one coming up. It was actually submerged, or not submerged, but stuck under a bridge and got crunched. The whole hardtop got smashed down. So that boat's coming soon. That's going to be a really cool boat. It's a 76-foot Horizon. But anyway, let's go back to the video. Appreciate you guys watching. I will see you on the next one. Got more boat show boats to come, and going to be hitting the Sarasota Boat Show here soon. Always got more salvage stuff to come as well. And permission to lay ashore. All right, now here we go. This boat was in rough shape, and according to a lot of your comments, she was in rough shape before she sunk, just being the fact that she's an ocean yacht. A lot of people commenting about the hulls actually tend to flex when in rough seas, and just a lot of different negative comments. I didn't realize ocean yachts weren't as great as they appear to be, but this boat definitely was sunk and she had issues. So what do you think she went for? We got a $3,500 Carver, an $81,000 Beneteau. She went even less than that Carver, $3,500. And man, this boat, the problem with this boat is it is 56 feet long. It's just a massive boat. Obviously, if it was easy enough to throw her on a trailer or stick her in your backyard and fix her up as you will, then, you know, sure, anybody would have bought it. I'd have bought it for $3,500. You kidding me? It would have been worth 10 times that. But it's a 56-foot yacht. You got to put it somewhere and go through all the hassle of fixing it, and then, you know, there's just a lot going on there. And you had to move it out immediately. So there you go, $3,500. It'd be cool just to have this boat to say, you know, for $3,500 that I own a 56-foot ocean yacht, and just go offshore. Even if you just went like near shore fishing, like 9 miles out, but you gutted it and turned it into a man cave, and got like one engine running for $3,500. I mean, I'm just talking stupid, but it just would be fun. $5 grand, come on. I'm looking at little Boston or little Carolina skiffs right now that cost $5 grand. But anyway, yeah, a moldy, mildewy nightmare. Here you go, 375, 3 1/4, 450, 400,000, and you could have one that looks just like it for under $4 grand. And looky here, you scroll down and see some of these videos, and there she is, my video. That's cool. That never gets old. Dollar yacht, dirt cheap. Yeah, $3,500. I got a little property I could actually put that thing out on and have an Airbnb. Again, same thing. Like, I would literally do that. But the cost of getting a 56-foot yacht stuck out onto my property in the boonies, I don't even know what that would cost. But anyway, let's jump into the next video, guys. This is a beautiful 1989 DeFever. And she was a really nice boat before she sunk. Let's go. Welcome back to the harbor, and welcome aboard this 50-foot 1989 DeFever motor yacht. wild looking. Man, I hope you guys can pick that up on the camera, but pack of cigarettes. I'm surprised there's any of those left after this. It's just like this massive black bruise, which I've never seen before. The starting bid is $1. Jeez. Dude. All right, guys, I'm back down here at Safe Cove in Placida, Florida, and I've got a 50-foot DeFever. Well, this is a dream boat right here, back in the day, in 1989. I've done a quick little preliminary walkthrough on it. It's got some good things, and it's got some bad things. The starting bid is $1. Jeez. Dude. What the world are they doing? Man, there's always some funny things to see at a boat ramp. All right, guys, this is a big boat. Really, such a cool boat. You know, as I said, back in the day. But this one ran aground and sunk. And from what I can tell, it looks like the stabilizer was the issue. It's the only spot I'm seeing like major damage on the hull. And I think she cracked there and took on water. It hit something. It didn't just run aground. I think it hit, who knows what it hit. May have hit a piling, submerged all kinds of stuff out in the harbors right now along the Gulf Coast of Florida from the hurricanes. So even now, months, years after, there's still problems. You can see here, took a little crunch there, but it looks like it's just like this massive black bruise, which I've never seen before. So it's, I think that's water, I'm assuming. It's just kind of different looking. Everywhere else is green bottom paint, and then it's got that. So possibly some blistering going on. Man, this guy don't get it. Actually, you know what maybe he's trying to do? I think he's trying to inch the boat up a little bit more. Dude, just crank it down, reset it, put it back in the water. He's trying to take off fast and have the boat slide up on the bunks. It's the best I can figure. Before I forget too, we're gonna be doing a video on this boat right here as well. Just came in to the yard. It's not up on the website yet, but it sunk, I believe. Definitely took on water damage, but it's got a really nice motor. It looks like a big Caterpillar or something inside there still, so stay tuned for that one. All right, back to this DeFever. Let's look under here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like the running gear took any hit. Props seem to be in good shape. Big old trim tabs. And I'm trying to figure out what this material is. I mean, it looks like wood. Doesn't really feel like wood, but would they use wood? I don't think so. Maybe. Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, you can see it's pretty bumpy. A lot of potential blisters maybe going on there. But yeah, that's a cursory walkthrough around the hull side. Oh wow, what is this? Is that just a factory defect? Yeah, I think it is. Or just, I don't know, I guess how they designed it. That's interesting. We gotta see if that's on the other side. I don't know if you could see that on the camera, how much flex that's got in it. Really weird. Down here too. Let's go to the other side and take a look. That would be interesting to see if that's how it came out of the mold. We paint boats. That's a beautiful boat right there. Those guys do a great job. Full paint jobs. Yeah, okay. That is wild looking. Man, I hope you guys can pick that up on the camera, but interesting. The whole design. All right, let's climb aboard. This is an expensive little piece of equipment. Mar equipped. easy on and off. These big boats. They got an epoxy paint over all of the teak. It's nice. So got some covers on. Got a really nice shine up here on the top side. Has been repainted at some point in time. Two-tone non-skid. Got an airport close by, so there's a little peek into the helm. Door's solid and smooth still. Not sure how deep it went. It did sink. Now, what is this? I've never seen this. I've been on and off boats for quite a while now, and I've never seen that. Blocking the side, you know, the side deck. Some kind of stabilization. I don't know. Anyway, here we are in the bow. It's nice, clean, open. Not a lot of stuff in the way. Got all the chain out. Very solid boat, really well built. I really like the DeFevers. I did a video on a really nice one way back, probably one of my first, I don't know, dozen videos or so. If you can scroll back, it's 44+4, I think it was, DeFever. But yeah, really nice boat. And they're in good shape. Separated there. Yeah, so you got a good shine on the outside. Spot's been holding water. It's not soft, but it's cracked. Alright, shall we go inside? Well, before we do, let's run up here to the bridge before we scare you guys. Oh man, it's like nothing ever happened up here. Look at this space, beautiful. They repainted the non-skid, pretty blue, kind of blue-gray color. Big space here for a dinghy. Starboard, nice starboard rack. We've got a davit. All the bimini looks to be in great shape. This looks to be like fairly new. Canvas. It's got the vinyl on the underneath and the sunbrella material on the outside. Bimini is in good shape, all of the framing, that is. Yeah, man, a little bit of crack in here on that paint job. Just gets hot and cracks, it looks like. Cushions are in good shape. Again, probably replaced at the same time that this canvas top was. Dark blue in here with the cushions. Captain's chair is soft, but cracked, but very soft. It's comfortable. Some electronics, analog gauges, idle, throttle, and our gear shifter, gyro, gale. There's the stabilizers. That's how you monitor them. Man, I wonder if they didn't have a stabilizer, if she would have been just fine. No bow thrusters or stern thruster. You're gonna need to know how to run a boat. So we can go down this way. Oh look, a little sneak peek here. You can look behind. Turn the light on for you. Easy access to work on the helm. That's cool. Alright, we're not going to go down that way. Let's go through the salon doors. Alright, look at these doors, man. Heavy, solid, just a proper door. Now, into the chaos. It's a bit of a mess. Big power cord. We'll go with the boat. Another boarding ladder. And a lot of junk. Not too bad here in the salon. Beautiful galley. Got some decent appliance packages in here too. GE, LG, nice double stainless wash basin, big sink, a lot of counter space. I love how you can look right out into the salon. Pretty woodwork. Yeah, got it all opened up and I guess took out the important stuff. Here we are in the helm. And a little cushion seat here. The navigator to keep an eye on things. Pack of cigarettes. I'm surprised there's any of those left after this final voyage that was taken. There's all our electrical panel. Doesn't look to be too corroded. You can peek inside. Okay, let's go down we go. What will we find? Nobody knows. This is where it gets rough. This is where it gets rough. Water in there. This is the head. Oh man, all this junk. Doors kicked off, kicked open. Maybe they're removed actually. No, yeah, it looks like they were removed. There's hinges. So, yeah, they didn't destroy it. Cedar locker. What a mess. What a mess. I don't know. Probably a bunch of pirates ransacked through this when it was sitting for days or weeks. Yeah, you can kind of see up there along the port lights where the water line was. There's the other head. Needs to be gutted, that's for sure. Oh man. I think it's fared better than that ocean yacht anyway. Not much, but maybe. Here we got one more stateroom. This is the master. Here we really go down. Down, down. Oh, the engine room too. Peek in there. Yeah, there's the master head, master stateroom, full beam, washer and dryer in there. And the engine room. I think these are seized, I think it said. You can check the listing if you're interested. Big old Detroit diesels. Decent sized engine room. Can actually get around in here, but whew, that's a mess. All right, let's go out of here. All right, well, that's it. She's a mess. Yeah, once they go down, fill up with water. But there are people who would like to buy this boat, and maybe that's in Mexico or like the Dominican Republic. I'll show you a boat that I did a video on that's actually heading that way here in a minute if you stick around. But you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. The motors are the problem, but otherwise you got a nice floating house. All right, let's take a look at Yacht World to see if there's any comparables out there. 1992 49 DeFever. Here we got 1988. 300,000 and 200,000. Not a whole lot. 1985. This one doesn't even have the length on it. A couple of them don't. 1980 48 footer. There's another 48. Okay. I'm not sure why they don't always have the footage on the listing right off the bat, you know. There's a 49 footer in California. But I'd say, see, this one right here is probably the closest comp. Looks like this is similar. No, this one's at the Portuguese flybridge. So we don't have any exact comps, but this one's got the lugger diesel. See what beautiful finishes they have. Same galley layout. Really nice boat. Hop over here to Cooper Capital. It's getting some decent views, about 1,200 views on their website. Struck a submerged object and took on water. Engines are locked. Can't just show up at the boatyard to see these boats either, guys. You gotta get a waiver and make an appointment. Bid is ending 4/22 unless it doesn't reach the reserve, whatever that is. I'm not sure, so you can check back and see if this boat went back up for sale, depending on when you're watching. Let me take you over here and take a look at a couple of these other boats that I did a video on way back. Staying with me all the way to the end, I want to show you a couple things. These boats, a lot of them boats that I'm doing, I'm seeing them later on in boat yards or different places getting fixed up or in the process, so it's kind of cool. I'm seeing them with the new owners. The High Star, I did a boat, a hurricane damaged High Star I did. That boat got all fixed up. It's heading to Mexico. This boat right here, this is the this is actually another High Star. That's funny. Both High Stars. High Star, low price, I think was the thumbnail. He's painting it. He's giving it like a cream color, bottom painting it. That one's going to the Dominican Republic, where he's going to do some of the finishing touches on it. So yeah, both High Stars are here in the yard. Well, actually one's on its way to Mexico, but they both came through the yard here at Safeco. This is a customer of mine's boat. We're going to be doing a video on this. He is having it had a tiny little rub damage from I'm not sure what, so he had the whole entire hull painted because that old gray wasn't really working. Dream time. But yeah, we're gonna do a video on that one. That's not a damaged boat. That's a really pretty boat. Here's another one. That's an old customer of mine's boat. That's a Swift trawler. But this boat here, cheap houseboat. I can't remember what it was. It's a Jamestowner, but you can see it's a metal boat. I guess it's aluminum. He's having a full bottom job. He's stripping it all back. I think she was kind of rough. Yeah, he just took out the inboards, or at least bypassed them, and put an old Yamaha on the back here. He had dropped. There's the IOs getting dropped off, but yeah, they're still in there. Good idea. Get all that junk out and just go with the outboard to move you to your final destination. This isn't something you take out for a ride. This is something you park and live on. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Signing off from the boat yard. Drop a comment. Meet the nicest people in boating, so say hello. Thanks for watching. Okay, well, there you go, guys. Really a very nice boat before she was sunk, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but man, once all that water gets in there, they get very, very moldy and mildewy, and you know, nobody likes that these days. So she went for another very cheap price of $5,500, and that is the deal of the day. I would say, man, $5,500. You know, it was in really rough shape in those lower cabins, but that's the same price as that Carver, and I'd much rather have this. As long as you can get it really deep cleaned and gutted, then you've got really nice bones, I'd assume. But again, that's the price of some of these salvage boats. There's just a lot of damage. Now, on the next video I'm going to be doing, I'm going to have 3, 4, or 5 more. There's going to be some significantly higher priced items, one of which was over $500,000 auction price sold. So it just varies when you're looking at these boats on Cooper Capital. These are just comps for that DeFever, you know, 160, 200, 79,000. That's not really a comp, but it's a beautiful boat. But yeah, back over here at Cooper Capital, these boats, you just never know. I mean, you know, some of them minimum bid 50,000. This is an estate sale as well, so it's not always hurricane damage, and then or damage in general. Here's freshwater damage. That's not nearly as bad as a grounding saltwater damaged boat. Here's a heat, smoke / fire. That's way better than a water damaged boat, in my opinion. Here's $1 minimum bid. Here's 10 grand. Here's $1. It's Hatteras out of California. So it just depends. These prices are going to be all over the board. You don't know what your bid is going to rank, so you just got to put your best foot forward and hope you get a call. And so some of these, it's like $3 grand. You can get a 56-foot yacht. You just never know. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Drop a thumbs up. Let me know if you like getting the prices on these, and I will definitely work on doing that on future videos. And of course, I do, like I said, have some of the old stuff coming up with prices just to give you guys a better idea. And now you know. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time in the harbor.